What's going on, everybody? Good evening. You are tuned into another episode of the Black Man Into the Wild podcast. You know, I'm blessed to be here with you all tonight, and as always, I'm blessed to have you here with me as well. First up tonight, tech giant Apple finds itself in hot water as it issues a public apology following backlash over its latest ad campaign, where a grand piano meets an unfortunate end. We'll delve into the details of this controversy and the company's response tonight. Next, we explore a fascinating blend of tradition and technology. Monumental Labs is leading a stone carving resurgence by employing state-of-the-art robotic arms to create stunning, ornamental building facades. Join us as we uncover how this innovative approach is reshaping architecture. And finally, we'll take a closer look at what propelled OpenAI back to the top spot on CNBC's Top 50 Disruptors list for 2024. From groundbreaking advancements to strategic maneuvers, we'll examine the factors that are once again putting OpenAI at the forefront of technological disruption. All this and more coming up. The Black Man Into the Wild podcast was born in the Pacific Northwest and covers topics centered around the most disruptive, groundbreaking technological advancements that are playing a role in reshaping our society right now and for decades to come. As a reminder, you can listen and download each episode of the podcast on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. We're streaming right now on all major digital streaming platforms, including Amazon Audible and the iHeartRadio podcast network. I appreciate your support. So you can see there on the screen, Apple has apologized after receiving backlash over an advert that showed objects, including musical instruments and books, being crushed by a hydraulic press. This coming from the BBC. Apple said the advert fell short of its goal of empowering and celebrating creatives. In a statement released to marketing publication Ad Age, the video was meant to demonstrate how creativity has been compressed into the latest iPad. The crazy thing about all of this is you're probably consuming this content on some type of Apple device. I mean, 99% of the videos on this channel were filmed using an iPhone. But celebrities, including Hugh Grant and Justine Bateman, reacted with horror to the destruction shown in the video. Quote, "Our goal is to always celebrate the myriad of ways users express themselves and bring their ideas to life through iPad. We missed the mark with this video and we're sorry." Tor Mirin, Apple's VP of Marketing Communications, said in the statement. Apple boss Tim Cook has been called tone deaf for his post on X, formerly Twitter, about the device where he asked people to imagine all things it'll be used to create. The advert attempts to show what Apple's latest tablet is capable of, such as watching television programs, listening to music, and playing video games, while making the point that the new device is particularly thin. It does this by using a video theme that has been around for almost a decade of musical instruments being crushed. However, in this instance, it seems the tech giant has also succeeded in mangling its own reputation, with complaints saying the ad actually shows how tech is stifling creativity rather than encouraging it. Actor Hugh Grant labeled it, quote, "the destruction of the human experience, courtesy of Silicon Valley." The criticism is particularly pointed because of the concerns in many of the creative industries about artificial intelligence, AI, taking people's jobs. Actor and filmmaker Justine Bateman, a vocal critic of the use of AI in the film industry, said Apple's ad was crushing the arts. The comments underneath Mr. Cook's post on X have been particularly negative, with one person calling it extremely distasteful and another saying it makes them feel ashamed to buy Apple products. People based in Japan appear to be prominent amongst the critics, which some said lacked respect. The act of destroying tools, quote, "is arrogant and offensive to us Japanese," one person explained, while another said musicians value their instruments more than life itself. The video has also drawn unfavorable comparisons with one of Apple's most famous adverts, which aired in 1984. In a nod to its year of release and the novel by George Orwell, the ad depicts an athlete fighting back against a dystopian future. And now to Monumental Labs, a company using robotic equipment to carve intricate details in stone in a fraction of the time it takes to do by hand. At their plant in Mount Vernon, New York, 7-axis industrial robotic arms equipped with diamond-tip mill bits create carvings that can make up or be part of the facades of modern buildings. New York City-based tech entrepreneur says it's time to rethink the concrete, steel, and glass approach to the design of new towers in New York. Mika Springett, suggests turning back the clock to an era where ornamental stone was popular on building facades before the post-war Bauhaus movement influenced a major shift to the modernist glass box. Springett, who has come a long way from an amateur stone carver armed with hammer and chisel, is the founder and CEO of Monumental Labs. At his plant in Mount Vernon, New York, 7-axis industrial robotic arms, equipped with diamond-tip mill bits that move very fast to remove layers of stone, create carvings that can make up or be part of the facades of modern buildings. Patterns are created through a digital design, input into PowerMill, an Autodesk program, and fed into a simulator. Most of the company's product is limestone from Indiana, but Monumental also uses other materials such as granite. Springett says the manufacturing process makes stone economically competitive with modern materials, and it's 96% less carbon intensive than concrete. Monumental Labs recently replaced 3 of 4 weathered brownstone balcony front-facing ornate stone panels and some return panels at Villard Houses, an 1880s hotel in Manhattan. The company has other historic restoration products on the go, but Monumental is also focused on facade details of new buildings. A current installation features 6 carved statues and gargoyles on the facade of a university building under construction. He says stone carvings done with robotics save significant time over traditional carving methods. An architectural bust carved and finished typically in a month or 2 by hand can be milled by Monumental's robots in about 2 days. Add a couple of more days for hand finishing details, of course. While ornamental stone went out of style in the post-war era, partly because of the high cost of labor, robotics makes it price competitive with other materials today. And for our last story tonight, we go back to Silicon Valley, where over the past year, OpenAI has launched audio and video generative AI products that demonstrate how quickly large language models are learning to do the creative acts that have historically been distinctly human. With the video and audio AI, Sora, and voice engine, OpenAI is moving slowly with the risk of deepfakes set against the mind-blowing capabilities that can transform everything from Hollywood to music and politics. But it's also in a race against the largest tech firms in the world, including Amazon, Alphabet, and Meta, who are also investing billions in their own generative AI, or backing startups like fellow 2024 disruptors, including Anthropic and Cohere. Earlier this month, OpenAI launched a new AI model and desktop version of ChatGPT, along with an updated user interface. GPT-4o can handle 50 different languages with improved speed and quality, and it will be available to developers so they can build apps off the OpenAI API. It's not just competition, but controversies that will continue. The company was sued by Elon Musk in March, with the co-founder of OpenAI saying it had abandoned its mission on behalf of humanity when it was originally created as a nonprofit. And the lawsuits from companies and industries threatened by its intelligence are piling up, with multiple suits from newspaper publishers, including the New York Times, while other media players decide that the only way to go is to play along. OpenAI has already struck deals with Axel Springer, the German media conglomerate that owns Business Insider, IAC's publisher Meredith, parent of Food and Wine and People magazine and the Financial Times, and has also reportedly held talks with CNN, Fox, and Time Inc. to license their work. In one of its most ambitious aims, OpenAI has been reported to be considering investments in chip manufacturing, the infrastructure underpinning all AI development. The immense energy usage of AI is another major ambition Altman is chasing, with a nuclear power company he is chairman of going public in the first half of 2024. All of this, the back-to-back #1 disruptor has accomplished after the boardroom drama of last November, which saw CEO Sam Altman ousted and then quickly reinstated. That now seems like a distant memory, and the generative AI juggernaut is back on the rapid advance. Its valuation keeps climbing, and it's arguably come through the boardroom chaos with a better governance structure, as well as more control over the ship from its biggest funder, Microsoft. In March, Altman rejoined the company's board, along with several other new appointments. However, the company recently announced that its chief scientist and co-founder, Ilya Sutskever, was leaving. Thanks for listening, everybody. This has been another episode of the Black Man Into the Wild podcast. Have a great night.